For so long, we've been conditioned to believe that happiness lies somewhere out there, waiting at the end of a journey, hidden behind the next achievement, or just over the horizon of our next goal. But the truth is, this constant chase creates an illusion that happiness is always just out of reach, something we have to earn or prove ourselves worthy of. This belief keeps us on a treadmill of wanting more, thinking that if we just do a little better, work a little harder, or accomplish a little more, then and only then will we finally feel fulfilled. But imagine for a moment that happiness isn't something you have to chase or pursue. What if it's something that's been with you all along, quietly residing in the present, in your heart, waiting for you to simply acknowledge it? This is a profound shift from believing that happiness is a reward you need to strive for to understanding that it's an inherent part of who you are. We're often taught to look externally, to search for things that might satisfy us or bring us closer to happiness, like a job title, a relationship, a certain income level, or social recognition. Yet these things are fleeting. They're subject to change, to loss, to forces outside our control. When we recognize that happiness is about embracing what's already within us, we take the power back. We realize that happiness isn't dependent on circumstances, achievements, or others' approval. It's a state of being that comes from understanding our own worth, accepting ourselves fully, and cultivating a sense of gratitude and presence in our lives. Instead of measuring ourselves by what we lack or what we still need to achieve, we begin to appreciate our inner strengths, our values, our kindness, our resilience, the very qualities that make us who we are. Happiness, then, is an intimate personal experience grounded in self-acceptance and a deep appreciation for the here and now. It's a commitment to honoring our lives as they are, rather than constantly seeking validation or fulfillment outside of ourselves. For so many of us, happiness becomes this distant, almost mythical destination, something we think will come after we achieve a particular goal, reach a certain milestone, or fix the things we believe are wrong in our lives. We tell ourselves that once we get that promotion, buy the dream house, or find the right relationship, then we'll be happy. It's as if happiness has been pushed out onto some invisible horizon, always a step ahead, never quite within reach. This belief creates a cycle where happiness is endlessly deferred, and in the process we find ourselves never fully present, never quite at peace with where we are today. But think about this, if happiness is always tied to something in the future, how can we ever truly experience it? By placing happiness in some future scenario, we rob ourselves of the chance to enjoy the richness of life as it unfolds in each moment. We overlook the beauty in the present, the joy in small moments, and the fulfillment that can come from simply being instead of always doing or achieving the someday. Mentality becomes a heavy burden, making us feel that we're never enough, that our lives as they are today aren't worthy of happiness, that something always needs to change before we can allow ourselves to feel content and whole. In reality, waiting for happiness in the future is like chasing a shadow. Every time you think you're getting closer, it shifts and eludes you because the goalposts always move. Once you reach one milestone, a new desire, anew only emerges. It's like climbing a never-ending mountain, each peak revealing yet another summit to scale, and happiness remains just out of reach. This is the trap of future-oriented thinking of conditional happiness. And unfortunately, the more we wait for something external to bring us joy, the more we create a habit of dissatisfaction and postponement. What if instead you could let go of the notion that happiness is waiting for you somewhere down the road? What if you could see that happiness is not a reward for achieving, but a natural result of truly living, of being present, of embracing your life as it is right now? The truth is, when we constantly look to the future for happiness, we give away our power, surrendering it to an imagined, idealized version of life that may or may not ever come to pass. And in doing so, we miss the profound experiences, connections, and quiet joys that make life meaningful in the here and now. Letting go of this belief opens us to a new kind of freedom. Instead of striving to reach happiness later, we begin to notice what is already good, already fulfilling, already beautiful about today. We start to see that happiness isn't hidden in some far-off time or place. It's in the laughter of a friend, the feeling of sunshine on your face, the satisfaction of completing a small task, or simply the sense of peace that comes from being okay with where you are. It's not just a passing feeling or a momentary acknowledgement, it's a mindset, a way of seeing the world that has the power to transform how we experience life. When we cultivate gratitude, we shift our focus away from what's lacking, away from what we wish was different, and toward what's already present, what's already working in our lives. It's a conscious decision to recognize the goodness that exists in the small details and the everyday moments we often overlook. This shift is incredibly powerful because it rewires the brain, helping us break free from patterns of negativity, stress, and discontent. Gratitude changes our perception, creating a kind of mental and emotional space where we start to see abundance instead of scarcity. Instead of looking outward and thinking, I'll be happy when, or I'd feel better if. Gratitude invites us to appreciate what we already have and to realize that there is always something to be thankful for, even in the midst of challenges. This doesn't mean ignoring difficulties or pretending everything is perfect, but it does mean that we allow ourselves to experience the richness and beauty that already exists in our lives. When we choose gratitude, we are choosing to elevate our attention beyond the things we wish were different, beyond what we might lack or long for, and instead we focus on what's already here, on the simple, profound gifts that we might otherwise take for granted. Practicing gratitude opens us to happiness in a way that's both immediate and lasting. Every day there are countless things, big and small, that we can be grateful for. It could be the roof over our heads, the people who care for us, the health we enjoy, or even just the beauty of a clear sky or the quiet comfort of a good night's rest. These are the things that might seem ordinary, even mundane, but when we pause to truly appreciate them, they reveal an abundance of joy that can be found in even the most routine parts of our lives. Gratitude teaches us that happiness doesn't have to be attached to grand accomplishments or major milestones. It's something we can access right here in the midst of our everyday experiences. Furthermore, gratitude has a way of expanding our capacity for happiness by creating a positive feedback loop. When we focus on what we're grateful for, we reinforce the habit of seeing the world through a lens of positivity and abundance. This shift not only boosts our mood in the moment, but also helps us to build a more resilient mindset over time. The more we practice gratitude, the more our minds become attuned to the good in our lives, making it easier to find joy and satisfaction, regardless of external circumstances. This resilience means that even when we encounter difficult situations, we're better equipped to face them without losing our sense of peace and contentment. Gratitude gives us a foundation of happiness that doesn't depend on everything going perfectly. It's a source of strength and optimism that can support us through ups and downs. And let's not forget how gratitude enriches our relationships and connects us with others on a deeper level. When we take the time to express gratitude to the people around us, it strengthens bonds and builds trust. It reminds us of the importance of the people who support, encourage, and stand by us even when life gets tough. Expressing gratitude not only makes others feel valued and appreciated, but also enhances our own sense of well-being, knowing we're surrounded by kindness and connection. This interconnected gratitude amplifies happiness because it shows us that we're not alone, we're part of a larger web of compassion and generosity that brings richness and meaning to our lives. Happiness doesn't just happen, it's not something that falls into our laps when all the conditions of life magically align. It requires us to take an active role in shaping our own well-being, deciding each day to focus on what brings us fulfillment, joy, and peace. When we make happiness an intention, we take responsibility for our own experience, no longer waiting for others or external circumstances to make us happy. We recognize that happiness is within our control, a series of choices and actions that create the life we want to live. Making happiness an intention starts with clarity. It's about understanding what truly brings us joy, fulfillment, and meaning rather than what society, media, or others say we should want. Often people chase goals or achievements that aren't even aligned with their core values, only to find that those pursuits bring emptiness or stress. To make happiness intentional, we first need to ask ourselves what genuinely makes us feel alive and connected. This might mean focusing more on experiences than possessions, choosing meaningful relationships over superficial ones, or finding ways to contribute to others and make a difference. Whatever it is, defining what happiness means to us personally is the first step toward living intentionally. Once we have clarity, making happiness a conscious intention involves setting boundaries and prioritizing what truly matters. Life is full of distractions, demands, and expectations that can easily pull us away from what we know brings us joy. When happiness is an intention, we learn to say no to things that don't serve us, that drain our energy, or that cause stress and dissatisfaction. We start aligning our time and energy with what genuinely enhances our well-being. This could mean creating more space for hobbies, spending time with loved ones, practicing self-care, or pursuing personal growth. By being intentional with our time, we ensure that we're investing in the aspects of life that support our happiness rather than letting life's endless shoulds dictate how we spend our days. Making happiness a conscious intention also requires us to be present. So much of our unhappiness comes from either dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, missing the beauty and joy that exist right here in the present moment. When we set happiness as an intention, we learn to anchor ourselves in the now, to savor the small moments that make up our days of conversation with a friend, a quiet morning coffee, the satisfaction of completing a task. Each of these moments holds the potential for happiness, but only if we're present enough to experience them. Living with intention means consciously choosing to be here now, to experience life as it unfolds rather than always looking backward or forward. Another part of making happiness intentional is practicing gratitude and reframing our thoughts. Our mindset has a profound impact on how we feel, and when we make happiness our intention, we become more aware of the thoughts that influence our emotions. We start recognizing negative or limiting beliefs and actively choose to shift them. Instead of focusing on what's wrong, we make a habit of noticing what's right, appreciating what we have instead of fixating on what's missing. This mental shift doesn't happen overnight, but over time it rewires our brains, helping us naturally gravitate toward thoughts that support our happiness. In this way, we learn to nurture a mindset that sees the good, that values the present, and that encourages resilience and positivity. Intentional happiness is also about taking care of ourselves physically, emotionally, and mentally. Often people put their own needs on the back burner thinking they'll get to them eventually, but happiness rarely flourishes when we're neglecting our well-being. When happiness is an intention, we commit to taking care of ourselves in ways that are nourishing and sustainable. This might mean getting enough sleep, eating well, staying active, or creating time for rest and relaxation. It's about understanding that our physical state is closely connected to our emotional state and taking small daily actions that support both. And while self-care is vital, intentional happiness also includes our connections with others. Happiness isn't an isolated experience, it's often amplified by the relationships we nurture and the connections we build. When we make happiness an intention, we invest in relationships that are meaningful, supportive, and uplifting. We choose to spend time with people who encourage us, who bring positivity into our lives, and with whom we can share laughter, ideas, and support. We let go of relationships that drain us, that are filled with conflict or negativity, and we consciously surround ourselves with people who inspire us to be our best selves. Finally, making happiness a conscious intention means allowing ourselves to experience joy and fulfillment without guilt or hesitation. Sometimes we hold back from happiness, thinking we don't deserve it or feeling that we need to wait until everything is perfect. But happiness doesn't require perfection, it requires permission. When we make it our intention, we give ourselves permission to seek joy, to embrace the things that make us happy, and to feel fulfilled regardless of life's imperfections. We don't wait for permission from others, nor do we wait until we've achieved some elusive standard of worthiness. Instead, we accept that we deserve happiness simply because we are alive, and we honor that with our daily choices. In the end, making happiness a conscious intention is about creating a life that reflects what we truly value, prioritizing our well-being, and living each day with the awareness that happiness is within our grasp. This is one of the most powerful actions you can take to make room for growth, peace, and joy in your life. So often we hold on to things out of habit, fear, or attachment, even when they weigh us down, drain our energy, or prevent us from moving forward. Whether it's a toxic relationship, a limiting belief, a lingering resentment, or an outdated goal, holding on to what no longer serves us creates clutter in our minds and hearts. It prevents us from fully embracing new opportunities, connecting with our true selves, and living in alignment with our values and purpose. Releasing what no longer serves you requires self-honesty and courage. It's about recognizing what is taking up space in your life without contributing positively. Sometimes this means facing uncomfortable truths about the people, habits, or situations that we've been allowing to linger, even when we know they're not beneficial. This isn't easy because it means letting go of familiarity, stepping into the unknown, and perhaps confronting the fears or insecurities that have kept us holding on. Yet there's a profound freedom that comes from finally choosing to release what doesn't serve us. It allows us to reclaim our energy, regain our focus, and open ourselves up to experiences that genuinely uplift and inspire us. Letting go doesn't mean dismissing or denying what something or someone has meant to us. It simply means acknowledging that its role in our life may have come to an end. We are constantly evolving, and what once served us well might no longer align with who we've become or where we're heading. A job that once fulfilled us might now feel restrictive. A relationship that once brought joy might now bring tension, or a belief that once guided us might now limit us. This is a natural part of growth, and releasing these elements isn't an act of rejection, but of respect for who we are today and for the journey we're on. One of the most challenging things to release can be the stories we tell ourselves, the limiting beliefs and patterns of thinking that keep us stuck. These beliefs might stem from past experiences, societal expectations, or even our own fears. They often operate beneath the surface, subtly shaping our actions and decisions. When we identify and release these stories, we free ourselves from self-imposed limitations, allowing us to live more authentically. For example, if we've been telling ourselves that we're not capable of achieving a certain goal or that we don't deserve happiness, releasing this belief opens the door to new possibilities. We start to see ourselves not through the lens of old limitations, but as the capable, evolving individuals we are. Releasing what no longer serves you also means letting go of resentment, grudges, and past hurts. These emotions can be incredibly heavy, lingering in our minds and affecting our mood, our relationships, and our outlook on life. Holding on to anger or resentment doesn't change the past, and it certainly doesn't bring peace. In fact, it often keeps us tied to situations or people that we would otherwise have moved on from. Letting go of these feelings is a way of reclaiming our emotional freedom. It doesn't mean condoning anyone's behavior or pretending that things didn't happen. Rather, it's about choosing to prioritize our well-being over holding on to pain. By releasing resentment, we make space for forgiveness, compassion, and ultimately a greater sense of peace. Similarly, letting go can mean moving beyond certain habits or behaviors that no longer serve our health goals or happiness. We may have adopted routines or coping mechanisms at one point that were useful but have since become obstacles. Perhaps we're engaging in habits that drain our energy, affect our health, or simply don't contribute to our growth anymore. Recognizing and releasing these habits isn't about self-criticism, it's about being mindful of how we're spending our time and energy and ensuring that we're investing in things that truly contribute to our well-being and goals. Sometimes releasing what no longer serves us means letting go of our need for control or our attachment to specific outcomes. Life is unpredictable, and trying to control every aspect of it can be exhausting and ultimately futile. When we release our grip on control, we open ourselves to the flow of life, allowing things to unfold naturally and trusting that we'll be able to handle whatever comes. This doesn't mean becoming passive, it means cultivating a mindset of resilience and flexibility, one that allows us to adapt and grow without being rigidly attached to how things should be. In releasing our need for control, we create space for unexpected opportunities, growth, and even joy that we might not have anticipated. Letting go can also apply to material possessions. Sometimes we hold on to things because they once held meaning, or because we're afraid of losing memories associated with them. But physical clutter can also be emotional clutter, a reminder of times, places, or phases in our lives that we've outgrown. By releasing these items, we're not discarding the past, rather, we're choosing to let go of the need to keep everything. We're recognizing that memories don't reside in objects, but within us. Simplifying our surroundings allows us to focus on what truly matters, giving us a greater sense of peace and clarity in our daily lives. Releasing what no longer serves us ultimately clears the path for new possibilities. It allows us to shed old skin, grow beyond our comfort zones, and embrace change. When we let go, we make room for fresh experiences, healthier relationships, and a stronger sense of self. We create the space to invite in people, opportunities, and goals that resonate with who we are today rather than who we were in the past. It's a continuous process, one that requires reflection and a willingness to let go of what's holding us back, but it's also a deeply rewarding journey that leads to a more intentional, empowered, and fulfilling life. In a world that often equates happiness with grand achievements, complex goals, or the relentless pursuit of more, it's easy to overlook the richness found in simplicity. True fulfillment doesn't always come from monumental successes or elaborate dreams. Often it's found in the quiet, everyday moments that ground us and remind us of what truly matters. When we shift our attention to the simple things, the ones that often go unnoticed or unappreciated, we begin to cultivate a deeper sense of contentment, one that isn't tied to external accomplishments or fleeting highs, but is rooted in the joy of being fully present. Focusing on the simple things is about reconnecting with our surroundings and with ourselves. It's about noticing the beauty in a sunrise, savoring a cup of coffee, or taking a few minutes to appreciate the stillness of early morning. These moments might seem small, but they're profound because they remind us that joy and fulfillment aren't always found in what we achieve. Sometimes they're found in how we experience the world around us. By making time for these simple pleasures, we create a sense of peace and gratitude that enriches our lives in ways that material achievements can't replicate. When we slow down and focus on the simple things, we also give ourselves the gift of presence. Life moves quickly, and many of us rush through our days without truly engaging with the present moment. We're constantly looking ahead, planning for what's next, or distracted by worries and to-do lists. But fulfillment often lies in our ability to be here now, to fully experience whatever we're doing rather than being mentally elsewhere. This presence allows us to deepen our relationships, savor our experiences, and engage more meaningfully with life. By simply being present, truly listening to a friend, enjoying a walk in nature, or focusing on our breath, we tap into a well of fulfillment that can't be found in the endless pursuit of more. The simple things that bring fulfillment are often tied to connection, whether that's with others or with ourselves. Meaningful connections with the people we care about, sharing laughter, a meal, a deep conversation, are some of life's most fulfilling experiences. In a time when so much interaction happens through screens and social media, taking time to engage face-to-face with friends, family, and loved ones is a powerful reminder of our shared humanity. These simple, genuine interactions nourish us emotionally and remind us of the importance of love, compassion, and belonging. They're moments that don't require any special planning or grand gestures. They only require our presence and our willingness to connect. Focusing on the simple things that bring fulfillment also means appreciating the small victories and progress we make each day. Too often, we overlook or dismiss our everyday achievements because they seem insignificant compared to our larger goals. But each small step, each task completed, and each effort we make toward growth and improvement matters. Celebrating these small victories builds a foundation of confidence and satisfaction, allowing us to feel proud of our progress even before we reach any major milestones. Instead of constantly focusing on what we have yet to accomplish, we learn to appreciate what we're achieving moment by moment, creating a sense of fulfillment that grows with each step. Simplicity also means finding fulfillment in the basics: good health, a warm home, food on the table, and the ability to experience life's pleasures. It's easy to take these things for granted, especially in a society that often pushes us to want more, have more, and do more. But fulfillment often comes from realizing that at a fundamental level, we already have everything we need. Recognizing the value in these simple aspects of life brings a profound sense of gratitude and reminds us that happiness isn't about accumulation, but about appreciation. By valuing the basics, we cultivate a mindset of abundance that sees life as rich and full, just as it is. Simplicity also invites us to reconnect with activities that bring us joy purely for their own sake. So much of life is measured by productivity and outcomes, and we can forget the joy of doing things just because they make us happy. Whether it's reading a book, gardening, painting, or spending time with a pet, engaging in simple, fulfilling activities helps us reconnect with our passions and creativity. These moments are often devoid of pressure or expectation. They're opportunities to simply be ourselves, to lose ourselves in something we love, and to feel the satisfaction of doing something just because it feels good. In focusing on the simple things, we also find fulfillment in caring for ourselves and nurturing our well-being. Sometimes taking a moment to rest, to breathe deeply, or to practice self-care can bring a profound sense of peace. We live in a culture that values busyness and productivity, but fulfillment often requires balance, a rhythm of work and rest that allows us to recharge. Prioritizing our health, sleep, and mental well-being might seem basic, but these simple actions have a huge impact on our quality of life. By taking care of ourselves, we give ourselves the capacity to show up fully for life and to find joy in even the simplest of moments. Nature, too, offers simple but profound fulfillment. The feeling of sunlight on your skin, the sound of birds singing, the smell of fresh rain, these experiences remind us of the beauty of the natural world and our connection to it. Spending time in nature helps us step away from the noise of daily life and reconnect with something timeless and grounding. It reminds us of our place in a larger world, one that doesn't operate on deadlines or expectations. Nature offers us a sense of wonder, a chance to slow down, and an opportunity to find joy in things that require nothing from us except our attention. Ultimately, focusing on the simple things that bring fulfillment is about aligning with what genuinely makes us feel whole and alive. It's about letting go of the idea that happiness is somewhere out there waiting to be attained, and recognizing that it's already present in the small, quiet moments of our lives. Simple things may not always be flashy or celebrated, but they carry a quiet power, a steady presence that sustains us. By choosing to appreciate these things, we cultivate a life that feels rich, grounded, and deeply fulfilling, allowing us to experience contentment without constantly searching for something more. Gratitude is one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to elevate your mood, change your perspective, and improve your overall well-being. It's not just about listing things you're thankful for, it's about immersing yourself in the feeling of appreciation, truly acknowledging the gifts, big and small, that life offers each day. By incorporating gratitude into your daily routine, you're not only improving your mental and emotional health, but also training your mind to focus on the positive, which creates a natural, lasting sense of happiness. Daily gratitude is like a mental reset button that helps us shift our focus from what we lack to what we have. So often our thoughts are clouded by worries, stressors, and the constant pull to achieve more, which can leave us feeling depleted and dissatisfied. When we pause to reflect on what we're grateful for, we're reminding ourselves of the abundance already present in our lives. This practice allows us to see the good, even amidst challenges or setbacks. We start to realize that happiness doesn't come from achieving or acquiring, it comes from recognizing and appreciating what's already there. This realization fosters a mindset of contentment and fulfillment that deepens over time. Making gratitude a daily habit rewires our brains to look for positivity. Neuroscience shows that when we consistently practice gratitude, we strengthen the neural pathways associated with positive thinking. This means that over time, our brains become more inclined to notice the good rather than dwell on the negative. Instead of focusing on problems, complaints, or fears, we naturally begin to see opportunities, blessings, and reasons to be happy. The shift doesn't happen overnight, but with consistent practice, gratitude becomes our default perspective, creating a steady undercurrent of happiness that persists regardless of external circumstances. Practicing daily gratitude doesn't have to be complicated or time-consuming. It can be as simple as taking a few moments each morning or evening to reflect on 3 things you're thankful for. These don't have to be grand or monumental. In fact, focusing on the small, ordinary aspects of life can be even more powerful. Maybe it's the warmth of the sun, the support of a loved one, or the enjoyment of a good meal. When we make an effort to notice and appreciate these everyday blessings, we're training ourselves to find joy in the ordinary. We begin to see that happiness isn't waiting in the future, it's available to us right now in the simplest moments of our lives. Gratitude also helps us cultivate resilience by reframing our perspective on challenges and hardships. Life isn't always easy, and we all face difficulties, but gratitude allows us to find meaning and growth even in tough times. Instead of focusing solely on what's gone wrong, we can look for the lessons, the strength we've gained, or the support we've received from others. This doesn't mean ignoring pain or pretending everything is perfect, but it does mean choosing to see how adversity can shape us in positive ways. By practicing gratitude, we build the resilience to face challenges with a sense of hope and acceptance, which in turn contributes to a more enduring happiness. Daily gratitude can also deepen our connections with others. When we take time to appreciate the people in our lives, whether through a kind word, a thoughtful gesture, or simply acknowledging their presence, we're strengthening our relationships and fostering a sense of belonging. Expressing gratitude to others makes them feel valued, which often leads to more positive, reciprocal interactions. Relationships are one of the greatest sources of happiness, and gratitude helps us nurture those connections, creating a support network that enhances our well-being. By focusing on the positive aspects of our relationships, we're reminded of the love and kindness that surrounds us, which brings a natural sense of joy. A daily gratitude practice can become a source of inspiration and motivation. When we take time to acknowledge what we're grateful for, we're often reminded of our values, goals, and the things that bring us joy. This reflection can inspire us to take actions that align with our sense of purpose and to pursue activities that enhance our well-being. Gratitude gives us a sense of direction by helping us focus on what truly matters, guiding our choices in a way that supports our happiness. It becomes easier to prioritize our energy and efforts toward what fills us with joy rather than what merely fills our time. By making gratitude a daily practice, we're also cultivating a sense of peace. When we regularly appreciate the blessings in our lives, we begin to feel more content with what we have and less driven by the need for constant change or improvement. This sense of contentment brings an inner calm, a feeling that we're exactly where we need to be, and that life is unfolding as it should. It's a peace that doesn't depend on circumstances, achievements, or external validation. Instead, it comes from knowing that our happiness is rooted in appreciation, not accumulation. Ultimately, daily gratitude is a practice that opens our hearts and minds to the beauty, kindness, and wonder that surrounds us. It helps us see life through a lens of abundance, recognizing that we have more to be thankful for than we often realize. This shift in perspective creates a natural state of happiness, one that isn't tied to temporary pleasures or external rewards, but is grounded in a lasting sense of fulfillment. Through gratitude, we become more aware of the richness of life, more compassionate toward ourselves and others, and more resilient in the face of life's inevitable challenges. And in choosing to practice gratitude every day, we're choosing to create a life filled with happiness that flows from within. In a world often driven by external expectations, societal norms, and the pursuit of success, it can be all too easy to lose sight of what genuinely fulfills us. Many of us find ourselves on paths dictated by others, whether it's family pressures, workplace demands, or the relentless tide of social media portrayals of success and happiness. However, the journey to a truly joyful life begins with introspection and the courageous choice to prioritize what makes us feel alive and fulfilled. By consciously aligning our lives with our passions, values, and true sources of joy, we can create a richer, more meaningful existence. To start this alignment process, we must first take the time to understand ourselves deeply. This involves exploring our passions, interests, and the activities that ignite a spark within us. What makes you lose track of time? What activities make you feel energized and fulfilled? It could be anything from painting, writing, or playing music to volunteering, cooking, or hiking. The key is to identify what resonates with your true self, what activities make you feel connected to your core essence. Engaging in self-reflection, journaling, or even meditation can help illuminate these passions, allowing you to identify the elements of your life that genuinely bring joy. Once you've identified what brings you joy, the next step is to integrate these elements into your daily life. This may require significant changes and sometimes even sacrifices, but the rewards are worth the effort. Start small, even little adjustments can have a profound impact. If you love painting but haven't picked up a brush in years, set aside time each week to indulge in that passion. If you thrive in social settings but spend most of your time alone, actively seek out community events or gatherings that align with your interests. By gradually incorporating these joyful activities into your life, you create a sense of fulfillment that enriches your overall experience. Aligning your life with what brings you joy also requires setting boundaries. Often we say yes to obligations or commitments out of guilt, fear, or a desire to please others, even when they don't serve our well-being. Learning to say no is crucial in this alignment process. It's important to protect your time and energy for the things that truly matter to you. This doesn't mean neglecting responsibilities or relationships, rather, it's about discerning what aligns with your joy and what detracts from it. By prioritizing your happiness and well-being, you create space for the people and activities that uplift and inspire you. Moreover, aligning your life with joy means cultivating a mindset of abundance and gratitude. It's easy to focus on what we lack or what's not working in our lives, but shifting this perspective can open us up to a wealth of possibilities. When we recognize and appreciate the joy already present in our lives, the small victories, the simple pleasures, and the moments of connection, we create a foundation of happiness that informs our choices. This mindset helps us attract more positive experiences and align with what genuinely fulfills us. When we focus on abundance, we become more open to new opportunities, and we start to notice paths that lead us toward joy. Part of this process is also about letting go of what no longer serves us. This can be particularly challenging as it often involves releasing habits, relationships, or pursuits that we've held on to out of comfort or fear. However, to create space for joy, we must be willing to let go of the weight that holds us back. Reflect on the aspects of your life that feel heavy or draining. Are there commitments that feel obligatory rather than enjoyable? Are there relationships that deplete your energy instead of nourishing it? Releasing these burdens can be a powerful act of self-love, allowing you to redirect your time and energy toward what truly makes you happy. Aligning your life with what brings you joy is also about continuous growth and evolution. As we change and grow, our sources of joy may shift as well. What once brought you immense fulfillment might no longer resonate as strongly, and that's perfectly okay. Embrace the idea of exploration and curiosity. Try new things, step out of your comfort zone, and allow yourself to evolve. Engage in activities that excite you, whether they're old passions or new interests. This sense of discovery keeps life vibrant and ensures that you're continually aligning with what brings you joy at each stage of your journey. Another crucial element in this alignment process is cultivating relationships that support and uplift you. Surround yourself with people who encourage you to pursue your passions and celebrate your joys. When you have a support system that genuinely aligns with your values and desires, you create an environment that nurtures happiness. Engage in conversations, seek out friendships, and build connections with individuals who inspire you to be your authentic self. The people we surround ourselves with have a profound impact on our mindset and motivation, and fostering positive, enriching relationships can significantly enhance our ability to align our lives with joy. As you work to align your life with what brings you joy, remember the importance of self-compassion and patience. This journey is not about perfection or instant results, it's about gradual shifts and ongoing self-discovery. There will be days when you stray from your path or feel overwhelmed, and that's okay. Treat yourself with kindness and acknowledge that this process takes time. Celebrate your progress no matter how small, and recognize that every step you take toward alignment is a step toward a more fulfilling life. Incorporating practices that foster joy into your routine is essential. Mindfulness, meditation, or simply taking a few moments each day to pause and reflect on what brings you happiness can help ground you in your intentions. Consider creating a joy list, a compilation of activities, people, and experiences that uplift you, and revisit it regularly. This list can serve as a reminder to prioritize joy, especially on days when life feels heavy. Cultivating joy requires intention and action, and by integrating these practices into your life, you reinforce your commitment to living authentically. Ultimately, aligning your life with what truly brings you joy is a profound and transformative journey. It requires courage, honesty, and a willingness to embrace change. However, the rewards are immeasurable: a life filled with fulfillment, purpose, and genuine happiness. By choosing to prioritize what matters most to you and taking actionable steps toward that alignment, you open the door to a richer, more vibrant existence. As you navigate this path, remember that joy is not a destination, it's a way of being. Embrace the journey and allow it to guide you toward a life that resonates deeply with your authentic self. In a society that often equates happiness with external achievements, wealth, success, or the perfect relationship, it's easy to overlook the fact that true happiness is not something to be acquired. It is a state of being that resides deep within each of us. This intrinsic happiness is like a flickering flame, quietly present beneath the surface, ready to be recognized and nurtured. It's vital to understand that we don't need to chase after happiness as if it were a distant goal. Instead, we can cultivate it by tuning into our inner selves and embracing the joy that is inherently ours. Many of us are conditioned to believe that happiness is tied to external circumstances. We think that if we achieve a certain milestone, such as landing a dream job, buying a house, or traveling to exotic locations, then we will finally experience happiness. However, this mindset can lead to a never-ending cycle of seeking and striving, often leaving us feeling unfulfilled and frustrated. The truth is that external achievements can provide temporary satisfaction, but they do not guarantee lasting happiness. In fact, true happiness stems from within, arising from our thoughts, beliefs, and perspectives. It is rooted in how we perceive and interact with the world around us. To tap into this internal source of happiness, we must first develop self-awareness. This involves looking inward and examining our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. What stories are we telling ourselves? What beliefs are we holding on to that may be limiting our happiness? By becoming aware of these internal narratives, we can start to shift our focus from the external to the internal. It's essential to recognize that our happiness is not contingent upon external validation or approval. Instead, it arises from embracing our authentic selves, accepting who we are, and acknowledging our worth.
Practicing mindfulness can be a powerful tool in this journey of self-discovery. Mindfulness encourages us to be present in the moment, fully engaging with our experiences rather than getting lost in thoughts about the past or future.
When we practice mindfulness, we create space to notice the small joys that often go unnoticed: the warmth of the sun on our skin, the laughter of a friend, the beauty of nature. By anchoring ourselves in the present, we can appreciate the richness of life as it unfolds and uncover the happiness that exists within us, waiting to be acknowledged. Another essential aspect of recognizing the happiness within is cultivating a sense of gratitude. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have, allowing us to appreciate the abundance already present in our lives.
By regularly reflecting on the things we are thankful for, we train our minds to notice the positive aspects of our daily experiences.
This practice helps us to realize that happiness is often found in the ordinary moments: a warm cup of coffee in the morning, a kind word from a stranger, or a cozy evening at home. When we cultivate gratitude, we open ourselves up to experiencing joy in even the simplest of things. Embracing self-compassion is also crucial in recognizing the happiness within us. So often we are our own harshest critics, berating ourselves for perceived shortcomings or failures. This negative self-talk can cloud our ability to experience joy and appreciate who we are. By practicing self-compassion, we learn to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding, just as we would a friend. This shift in mindset allows us to embrace our imperfections and recognize that we are deserving of happiness simply for being ourselves. When we let go of self-judgment, we create a fertile ground for happiness to flourish. Engaging in activities that resonate with our true selves can also help us tap into our inner happiness. What are the things that make you feel alive? Whether it's painting, dancing, hiking, or writing, engaging in creative or fulfilling activities allows us to express ourselves and connect with our passions. When we participate in activities that bring us joy, we naturally align ourselves with our authentic selves. This alignment fosters a deeper sense of happiness that comes from within as we are engaging in pursuits that reflect our true values and interests. It's important to remember that the journey to recognizing the happiness within us is not always linear. There will be ups and downs, moments of joy and moments of struggle. Life's challenges can sometimes overshadow our ability to see the happiness that lies within. However, these challenges can also serve as powerful teachers, guiding us toward deeper self-understanding and appreciation. When faced with difficulties, we have the opportunity to explore our resilience, strengthen our coping mechanisms, and emerge with a greater appreciation for the moments of joy that punctuate our lives. Fostering connections with others is another essential aspect of unlocking the happiness within us. Relationships are a vital source of joy, and surrounding ourselves with supportive, uplifting people can significantly enhance our ability to experience happiness. When we engage with others who share our values and encourage our authentic selves, we create an environment that nurtures happiness. These connections remind us that we are not alone in our journeys and that joy is often magnified when shared with others. Take the time to nurture your relationships, celebrate your connections, and engage in meaningful conversations that uplift you. Additionally, aligning our lives with our values is a crucial step in recognizing the happiness that resides within us. When we live in accordance with our core values, we create a sense of harmony and fulfillment. This alignment fosters authenticity, allowing us to express ourselves freely and confidently. Reflecting on our values, whether they are family, creativity, adventure, or service, and ensuring that our daily actions align with them can bring about a profound sense of joy. When we honor what matters most to us, we cultivate a life that resonates with our true selves, inviting happiness to flourish. Ultimately, happiness is not a destination, it is a way of being. It is not found in the accumulation of things or the validation of others, but rather in the deep acknowledgement of our own worth and the joy that already exists within us. By taking the time to notice and nurture this inner happiness, we can transform our relationship with ourselves and the world around us. Happiness is already there, waiting for us to recognize it, to embrace it, and to allow it to illuminate our lives. The journey of discovering this happiness requires intention, self-reflection, and a commitment to living authentically. But the rewards are immeasurable, a life filled with joy, fulfillment, and an enduring sense of peace.
ChatGPT can make mistakes. See.